Hi, me again. So today is day 3. Today I would like to talk about a memory I have in regards to one of my neighbors, and since I changed all their names, it looks like I have to change his name too. Duh. So what should I name him? I think I'm gonna name him Dan, and then I'm gonna name his daughter Laura. Okay. So, as I said in my other video, my mom, when I was younger, was a raging alcoholic. Raging as in whenever she drank, she was very aggressive, very angry, very spontaneous in the moment, just as angry could be for one person who is drunk off their tits. Okay? With that in the forefront of your mind, we had a neighbor, and he was a heavyset white male, kind of balding. If you could think of basically every typical white heavyset man that is balding. Dan had a daughter named Laura, and Laura was about my age. And after the fence that was in between our houses got taken down by the landlords, my mom decided, hey, I know the neighbor, and he has a daughter that is your age, and he drinks, and I drink, and daughter, so why he comes over here, you're gonna hang out with her. And I'm just like, okay. Might I add, the daughter wasn't my age. She was probably 4 years younger than me, so technically within the age range, but like if you're 14 and you're hanging out with a 10-year-old, it's still kind of weird. Or if you're hanging out with like a 9-year-old's not going to hang out with a 4-year-old. They're just not. It's just not going to happen. Not unless they have to. And I kind of had to. They hung out a lot, and I didn't really hang out with Laura that much. But when I did, I would go over to their house, which was literally through a bush into their back door. And Dan would come over to my house. So her and I would play like girly video games or board games or just talk about life. And I just probably they were just like hanging out, my mom and Dan, hanging out the same way like parents hang out, right? So the story is that other than being forced to yet again hang out with an offspring so my mom could hang out and have a drinking buddy, she one day got in a major fight with him, and they would always go off and like fight together and squabble. I don't know what the word is, but fight really over nothing. And one day we go out to dinner at Soup Plantation. If you guys have ever been there, Soup Plantation, off the chain, so good. I love their cheesy bread and their French onion soup, so good. So we go to Soup Plantation. He drives, so Dan, Laura, my mom, and me, we all go to Soup Plantation, and I have no freaking clue what the argument was about. But right when we sat down with our trays, he said something to my mom. I can't remember, but my mom flipped shits. She was probably drunk because he drove. I ended up walking home, and it was ridiculous because she just decided to have a hissy fit right after everybody paid, and it was just like, no, I'm not dealing with this. You're coming home with me right now. And I don't even remember how far we walked. Hold on a second. Let me look it up. So I looked it up, and it was 6 miles. I ended up walking 6 miles in flip-flops at like 10 o'clock at night because she decided to have some kind of hissy fit. And the only reason it was only 6 miles was because she scrounged money out of her, not money, change. She scrounged change out of her purse to let me take the bus the rest of the 5 miles home because I was wearing flip-flops, and I was a young kid. I was just like, what the actual heck, you know? And I don't know. Personally, for me, I think if a parent gets offended by someone, regardless if it's like in a relationship aspect or not, if they're with their kids, like you gotta suck it up. You gotta get over it. You could argue with the person later, not in front of your children. And it wasn't just me, it was me and Laura. So I'm like dumbfounded on the kind of adult responses that she had continuously. And so a couple days later, he comes out and yells at me, might I add. Okay, so here's the fun part about it, right? Is that his peen was peeking out the front part of his boxers as he's sitting there, standing there. He was standing there yelling at me about how I should react and how I should respect my elders, because I told him to like screw off, or like I don't like him, I don't think he's funny, and I don't want to hang out with him or his daughter at all anymore, because I'm just like over it. I'm sick of being some kind of pawn for my mom just so she could have fun with random people who enjoy doing horrible things, right? Okay, so he was yelling at me early that morning, and then my mom comes out and sees him yelling at me, and this bitch goes inside, takes our microwave oven, unplugs that bitch, and throws it at him. Thank God it didn't hit him, because ooh, what kind of money he would have tried to get out of us otherwise, like the money we didn't have in the first place, first of all. So I'm like, what the heck? I am so confused. I am dumbfounded. I am shocked. I am shook. I am just, I was just shattered, okay? Because me being a kid and looking at like how these adults react to each other, I'm like, is this really what it's going to be like when I grow up? Like, what is the point of working hard in high school or grade school? What is the point of being nice to people? What is the point of thinking about other people's feelings? Because honestly, just the way that I constantly see her interacting with other people, it was pointless. It was pointless to be nice. It was pointless to have consideration or empathy. Like, there was no point. If it wasn't for me, all about me, me, I'm never gonna get what I deserve. I'm never gonna see people as equals. I'm always gonna see them as lessers. And I don't, me personally, I don't want to be like that. I don't want to see people less than me. I don't want to see people as basically trash and pawns in the way that she did. So that is another memory that I have from my childhood in regards to my mother and one of our many, many neighbors. And another story is coming tomorrow. Thanks.